Okay, it's your job, because apparently it went off in Mrs. Thingy's class, to make sure that it's all recording. Okay, right, so in the first one, the letters that were used were capital S represents the allele for smooth seeded pea plants. And guys, you've got to be very careful how you say this. Look at me, stop writing and listen. You can't say the allele for smooth seeds in pea plants, because that implies that within one plant, some of the seeds may be smooth and some of them may be wrinkled. But it's not like that. It's that the whole plant has smooth seeds or wrinkled seeds. So it would be the same as if I said to you, in terms of human eye color. No, I need to be careful with this, because I'm going to bluff this next time I say it to you. Anyway, you need to say not smooth seeds in pea plants. It is a smooth seeded pea plant. Like you would talk about a red flowering pea plant. Okay, there is a difference. It's subtle, but I will nail you if you don't get it right. Oh, no, what I forgot. I forgot your notes for population. I'll go and get them while you're working just now. Yes, Matt?
Ma'am, do you need to say allele for smooth-seeded pea plants, or can you just say smooth-seeded pea plants? Mm-hmm.
No, it's the allele for it.
Okay.
Yeah. But they've given it to you here, so you don't need to write it.
Okay.
Okay.
But if they don't, then...
If they don't, you need to. And then lowercase s would represent the allele for wrinkled seeded pea plants. Okay. So what it says to you is, and be very, very careful, you will find, especially when you get onto the slightly more complicated problems, that a number of the problems have got more than one part. And so if you start reading and you just jump in and you go through that, you may find you've left out the other three parts to that question when you then think you've finished and you leave it. But you've left out the other three parts and you've lost like 3/3 of the mark. Okay, sorry, you know me. No, arithmetic doesn't do it for me. Okay, right, so you happy that the parental generation, it tells you that there is a heterozygous smooth-seeded pea plant crossed with a homozygous wrinkled-seeded pea plant. And that is little s, because if it had anything else in it, it wouldn't be wrinkled-seeded pea plant. Do you all understand that? So that's like the blue-eyed human thing. So if you look at a person and they've got blue eyes, you know that they're little b, because if they had any other allele in there, they wouldn't have blue eyes. Okay, those of us who were here on day one know this. Tell you were not. No, you weren't.
Day one, Monday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I see. Yeah, the first bio day. Okay, so gametes. Half of them are going to be big S, half of them are going to be small s. And S is one of those letters where you've got to make absolutely certain that it's very clear whether you're using a lowercase or a caps. Now, to get the F1, you can either do a Punnett Square, which we know I hate, or you can just cross them. So this gamete has just as much chance of fusing with that one as that one has.
Wait, we could do this the whole time.
Why? Is it also easier for you? I know. Life's too short. Anyway, everybody happy with this? So the F1 generation, and then they say to you, what proportion of the offspring are expected to show the dominant trait? Now, in theory, next to this, you should be writing phenotypic ratio, and it would be 1 smooth seeded pea plant to 1 wrinkled seeded pea plant.
Now,
I'm listening.
is it important to say ratio? Phenotype ratio. Okay.
Unless they're all. So it's not phenotype ratio, it's phenotypic.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine as long as you've got it right. Matt, don't do that. Genotypic ratio. Matt's going, what have I done wrong? Okay. Phenotypic ratio. Okay, ready, steady, go. And Tubbsy. I beg your pardon? No, okay, don't look. Don't look at your work. No, I need you to know how to do this. And while you might have at home had your notes and you're looking at it and whatever, let's get this right. And if you can't do it, know that half the class can't do it. So let's get it right. Okay, Amu. Okay, genotype. Is this heterozygous or homozygous? Okay, and it is smooth seeded. So you're going to say 1 heterozygous smooth seeded pea plant, Michelle, to 1 homozygous wrinkled seeded pea plant. Okay, do you get that it's a 1-to-1 and there are only 2 options? And genotypic is, you've got to say whether it's heterozygous or homozygous. Michelle, what's wrong?
He's breathing really loudly.
No, you think I'm lost. And then, because I have to cover my nose with this, right, so that my glasses don't fog up. And then I can't breathe properly.
I know, I swear these masks are turning us into mouth breathers.
No, I think I'm getting a headache from my CO2, like clustering up the
Man, is it possible that when I go home I'm so tired because I'm not getting enough oxygen?
Yes, I really feel.
After bio.
I don't even breathe.
Can I get home?
I could tell you sleep.
That's okay.
Okay, now that we've finished like a whole social event, let's go. Okay. So the genotypic ratio would be 1 heterozygous smooth-seeded pea plant to 1 homozygous wrinkled-seeded pea plant. And remember that on the board in the classroom, I was busy writing ratios that will help you if you get a problem, because you're going to get a problem. But they're not going to tell you what the parents are, they're going to tell you what the offspring are, and they're going to ask you what were the parents. Okay, so you need to be able to know how to work backwards in these things. And one of the easiest ways to work backwards is learn the ratios. And there are 3 ratios you've got to learn. And this is the one. If there's a 1-to-1 phenotypic and genotypic ratio, then it's a heterozygous crossed with a homozygous recessive. Will always give you a 1-to-1 phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Okay. Now, there's no point in me writing it up in the corner here because it's going to be rubbed off just now in any case. Okay, everybody happy? Now you read through the whole problem to make sure that you've answered everything. So blah, 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 blah. What proportion of the offspring are expected to show the dominant trait? Josh.
No, sorry, no, it's a good question. Going back to what you said about the ratios you have to learn. Are we going to go back and like go over all 3 ratios later and just these little things learn? Okay.
Okay, right, so what proportion? Is a ratio a good answer for what proportion will show the dominant trait? So you need to actually state it. All right, Josh, go.
I said 50% will show the dominant traits.
Absolutely. So you can either say 50% or you can say a half. If they had given a number, let's say these two plants produced 50 offspring, how many would show the dominant trait? Then your answer would have been 25. Then you're not doing proportion, you're actually calculating how many of the. Does that make sense, guys? All okay?
So the proportion is always percentage.
Are you telling me that?
I'm asking.
I would have said a half. I think I'm more likely to give a fraction, but I'm okay with the 50%. Okay. All right, everybody happy? Okay, all right. Let's go. A homozygous straight-haired guinea pig is crossed with a homozygous curly-haired guinea pig. The gene for straight hair is dominant over the allele, or the gene for curly hair in guinea pigs. The F1 generation is inbred to produce the F2, and in doing so produce 130 offspring. Okay. Now, the first thing that you need to do is do a genetic cross to make sure that you can work out all these things. Okay. So, the allele for straight hair is dominant, so represents the allele for straight hair in guinea pigs. And small s represents the allele for curly hair in guinea pigs. Okay. A homozygous straight-haired guinea pig is crossed with a homozygous curly-haired guinea pig, and they produce an F1. So you've got to go through the whole gamete F1 situation. Okay, so gametes here, Kerry?
Circle is. Nah, big S. And then small s in a circle.
Okay, right, everybody happy? So there we go. Those crossed with those, there's only one option you can get, and therefore they are all genotypically, Tabsy, heterozygous, straight-haired guinea pigs. Okay, did I say it wrong when I did that? I think I did. All right, now listen carefully, because now you're making an F2 generation. Okay, so what it says to you is, stop writing and listen and watch. The F1 generation is inbred to produce the F2. That means that some of these oaks married some of these oaks and had offspring. Okay. In theory, they're not going to ask you a problem like this about humans, but plants can do it, and so can other animals. And remember, the symbol that you then give is not a straightforward cross, it's a cross with a circle.
Oh. So when you interbreed, right, then it's that.
Inbreed.
Inbreed.
Inbreed. Because interbreed is not between related individuals.
Okay.
Okay. Right, you happy with this? You all understand this concept, bookies? Okay. And you can do one of two things. And I don't mind which one you do. You can either write a second one over here and just keep going, or you can just go straight down to the gametes, because all these ones were exactly the same. And I don't mind which one you do. So let's go down to the next, to the gametes, and say that there will be female gametes and there will be male gametes. And the female gametes are half big S, half little s. And the male gametes are half big S and half little s. Okay, you happy with that? Does that make sense, guys? Okay.
So, ma'am, you don't have to put F2 anywhere.
I haven't got to the F2 yet,
But didn't you say when they
but I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
So if you had done that, if you'd done it like this, then you would just have put the arrow straight down here and put the big S, little s there. But here I'm saying, if I choose not to do it like that, I'm just saying you get male gametes and you get female gametes. And it's exactly the same thing. William?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing doubt there.
You said the female gametes and the male gametes also there.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. And then to get the F2, you would do either a crossy or you would do a Punnett Square. So we'll do a Punnett Square because I'm paid vast sums of money to do this. Okay, but do you know how you would do the crossy? Must I show you just now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Right. Big S, big S. Big S, big S. Big S, little s. Remember, scientific convention is you put the big one first. Always. Okay, so let me do this. Big S, little s. Little s, little s. Yes, Josh.
Ma'am, so that we don't get confused, can we like do a cursive S, for example, for little s, and
I don't mind what you do as long as you've indicated and I can clearly see the difference between your lower and your upper.
okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, so this is your... Okay, let's go through this first and then we'll talk about the fact that this is your second ratio that you've got to know. Okay, phenotype. And stop writing and look at me. Okay, right, Kwezi, go.
Phenotype would be all the straight hair.
Okay, so this would be straight-haired guinea pigs, and this would be Trish. Because straight-haired was dominant. So this is big S, little s. This is going to be a straight-haired guinea pig. Okay, you happy with that? Jules?
Straight hair guinea pig.
And Trollies.
Non straight hair guinea pig.
Curly-haired guinea pig. You okay with that? Okay, now I'm going to keep going and we're going to do genotype. Tabzi, go. Good. Homozygous straight-haired guinea pig. Amu?
Did you say again?
Oh, sorry. Amu? Okay, and Carmen, go. Guinea pig. And Matt.
Homozygous curly head.
Guinea pig.
Guinea pig.
You kids are going to drive me nuts. Okay, everybody happy with that? Okay, I'm just going to quickly answer these questions and then I'm going to go back to the crossy thing. Okay, it tells you in the F2 there were 130 offspring. Okay, you happy with that? So, how many of the F2? And here we go. This is when you've got to give me a figure. You're not going to give me a proportion. You're not going to give me a ratio. You're going to give me a figure. How many of the F2 would you expect to have straight hair? This is very high grade. Kerry.
97.5.
Okay, you happy with that?
Must you round it off, man? No.
I'm happy with, I would have accepted one of three things. 97.5, 98 or 97. Okay. Right, you all happy with that? Do you know how you got it? You know how Kerry got it?
No.
She asked her older brother. Okay. So there are 4 different options, guys.
Wait, ma'am, I didn't understand how Kerry got to the figure.
She's explaining it.
Oh,
I divide when I was there.
You divide by, yeah, there we go, babe.
So I think this is how I got it. Well, yeah, I wrote this down. I said, maybe you can do it a different way now. I just did it how.
No, my arithmetic is appalling.
Divided it by 4, and then times it by 3.
Exactly, yeah. So it's 3/4. It's 3/4 of 130. Okay, Carmen.
yes.
Okay. How many would you expect to have straight hair? Charlize.
You just did straight hair. You mean curly hair.
Curly hair? I don't care.
I said 32 or 33.
Okay, right. Which is obviously common, 1/4.
Yeah.
Okay. How many of the F2 are homozygous? It's 130 divided by 2.
65.
Okay, right. We're happy with 65. How many are heterozygous? Also 65. What percentage of the F2 is homozygous for straight hair? 25%. You okay with that? What proportion of the F2 are hybrid? Yes. So it would be either 50% or it would be a half. I'm okay with you doing either of those.
I'm still a bit uncertain about the rounding off for like A and T, because you can't have half an organism. So then
It's proportionate. It's in terms of proportion, and it's okay.
so it's fine to leave it to 1 decimal place, even in the matric finals.
I'm fine with that,
Okay.
and I'm sure they would be fine. It's like saying what's the average number of kids that a female has, and it's 2.5.
Yeah.
You know, you don't do the half baby thing. Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, sorry, this could be a silly question. But why do you times it by 130?
Because it told you here that they had 130 offspring.
Okay, thank you.
So because this one they told you, then you've got to work it out of how many. So this one, for example, if I said to you, and remember I said to you at the time, if I told you that in the F1 there were 50,
Yeah.
then half of them, 25 of them would be like that, and 25. How did you get it? You went half of a 50.
It's half.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, wait, before you go any further, let's do the crossy thing to make Bonga and Mrs. Page happy people. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Okay. So, no, shh. Are you meant to go now?
Yes,
Yeah.
no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we do. We only have 1 lesson today.
So, is it the lesson up?
Yes.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Okay,
Okay, listen, wait. Okay, so it's your job to remind me tomorrow to go back. Okay. All right, guys, homework. Oh, don't look sad. 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5 for homework. Yeah. All right, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I can see you unhappy.
Actually, really quick.
Have you gone through the work? I'll give you an ASP when you've gone through the work. I'll give you an ASP when you've gone through the work. I'll give you an ASP when you've gone through the work. If you haven't done that, you can't expect to understand this. That's what the problem is with being absent.
Oh, wait, I did go over your safe work. I did.
Okay, go and watch the video.
Okay, I'll rewatch it. Then can I get an ASP tomorrow?
If you still don't understand the work.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, you can't be absent. Not in genetics. I've told you this. Look sad. Okay. Guys, what are we going to do? Hey, wait. What are we going to do in terms of You left your jacket there, Puppet. Okay, what are we going to do in terms of the population notes? Where are you going now?
Tomorrow,
Hall.
Oh.
We're going to the hall, man.
And then
Hall
Matt
and
and staff room.
Stafford.
Yeah.
Hall and
Okay.
Stafford.
How long is your hall one?
Oh,
Oh, and
Okay, if I see you, if I come into the hall in an hour's time, get into you, you okay with that?
perfect, thank you, man. Is it also on classroom, man? Because I saw something was up there.
It is, but this is all printed out for you.
Okay, thanks, man.